Okay, we're not going to learn Perek Lamed Dalet. Perek Lamed Gimel talked about Amunah, and that the Amunah comes from Hizbonenus. The Hizbonenus is an Achdus Hashem. And what is the Amunah? Amunah is Pashat the Neshama. And this is a Chaylik and a Goyrel and a Yerusha that the Eibishter gave every single Yid, that he could have Amunah. That through the avoid of Hizbonenus, he could reveal a Lakus in his Neshama, and it gives him Meirin de Kesimcha. And then, as the Gemara says, Boch, Habakak, Vamid, and Alachas, all 630 mitzvahs become like one mitzvah. He, Amunah, Levada. If you have connection to Hashem through the Neshama, and you have joy from it, it's not hard. You don't feel like, oh, you nebach, I have so many mitzvahs to do. It becomes very, very easy. And the Rebbe said there's also a Gvaldik Simcha, Kfula Mechupelas, because of Dire B'Tachteinin. You're hosting Hashem and you're Mayach, and Hashem is being hosted by you. So the Nekud of Perek Lamed Gimel is that a person could do the avodah of his bonus using his Mayach to make Nafsha Mikra and Gufam Tafel. Before we spoke about Musir, Perek Lamed, you want to reveal the Neshama, do his bonus. The problem is, not everybody can do his bonus the same. And more importantly, not everybody can experience the Amunah the same. In other words, some people have greater minds, they can think more, some people don't have as great minds, they can't think as much. And even if you could think all day long, the idea that the Neshama emerges, which is called the Simcha of Amunah, is not the same for everybody. You have to have a more Edel Neshama, you have to have finer Levushim. Bigger Tzaddikim can reveal the Neshama much easier, much truer, and relatively speaking with less effort. Other people work much harder and they achieve much less. So Perek Lamed Dalet addresses this shaila. We all know that Dafka the Aves are called the chariot of Hashem, which means that Shekol Yameim, every minute of their lives, every day of their lives, La'olam all the time, La'yafsiko, they never interrupted that Filah Sha'achas even for 1 hour, Milakasha Daitam V'nishmasam, from connecting their mind and their souls, L'ribein ha'olamim, to the creator of the world, to the master of the world, be'bitl now, with the bitl that we were describing earlier, which is of course liyichud yizbach, the unity of Hashem. They learned chassidus, they did his bonus, and they had tons of amunah and tons of simcha that comes from the amunah. They're called the merkava. The Rebbe says in Tanya Perek Gimel, because kol yameim kulam, kol evereim kulam, every limb of their body, every second of the day or the night was a merkava for lakus, even when they slept. They nasa merkava for anything else, even for 1 hour. So the Avis did the avodah Perek Lamed Gimel on the highest level. There is bonus. They had real simcha of Gili Eid Neshama and the Amunah that it brings and so forth. And in addition to them, but on a lower level, is Kol HaNevi'im, all the prophets. The prophets also are Chachamim Mechukamim, like it's written in Rambam. And they use their Chochmah to L'tayel B'Padis, to think about the greatness of Hashem and to get Amunah and Simcha. Each one, according to the level of his neshama and his intellectual reach, in their ability to have his bonus, emuna, and simcha from this bonus. Shalom, and of course the level of Moshe Rabbeinu himself, he ha'el kulan is the very highest of all. Sha'amar Allah, the Gemara says about him, Shechina medaberes mitech gereinei shal Moshe. The Shechina speaks from Moshe Rabbeinu's lips. So this business about Amunah and Simcha from Amunah, which comes through his bonus, is nishpashat. For the Avis, it's a no-brainer. For Nevi'im, it's a no-brainer. And for Moshe Rabbeinu, it's for sure a no-brainer. And he adds, similar to the Madrega of the Avis and Nevi'im B'chlav, and Moshe Rabbeinu B'frat, Zachu Yisrael. All Jewish people were refined and experienced B'maimed Harsina when the Torah was given. What happened when they had this Gili of Amunah, when the Eid and Hashem was revealed? They couldn't tolerate it. The Gemara says, each time the Eibusha spoke, the Neshama expired. Shahu, what does this expiration of the soul demonstrate? Inyan bitl b'metiyas, the loss of their own identifiable form. Hanis Galiel, which we discussed before. We didn't discuss bitl b'metiyas? I suppose in Perek Yates, but I'm not sure. In other words, when they did his bonus and developed Amunah and Simcha, this is bonus, they couldn't take it. Not everybody could sit the whole day with Hashem and not lose himself completely, not go crazy. And this is the reason. That Meyad immediately, Hashem told him to make him a home, a seat, a resting place. Ubay Kaddish Kaddish, which has a holy of holies. La Hashrat Shchinasei, where the Shechin of Hashem can manifest. In other words, a place where Hashem's Achdus could be revealed. It's going to be explained later, and I think later means Perek Nunaf in the Beis and Gimel. Then the Beis Hamikdash is revealed. Now the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. Where can there be a Gilui of Hashem, of Emunah and Simcha? Hashem does not have a place where He's able to reveal Himself in His world. The 4 amas people study Teresh Bal Peh Halacha. Which is the will of Hashem, v'chachmasei in His wisdom, hamalabashim that are revealed, ba'alachas haruchas lafadenu, and the various halachas which are arranged before us. And as a result of this whole presentation we just had, we have a gavaldik kasha. The kasha is, how do I fit into this? I'm not the office, I'm not Nevi'im, I'm not Moshe Rabbeinu. Yid b'matan teira platzt. How do you expect me to be a Yid using his bandinus, emunah, and the simcha of this emunah? I'm not a keli for it. So the Alter Rebbe says, what are you supposed to do if you're not Moshe Rabbeinu? You're not the others. V'lachein, and the answer is as follows. And I'm going to give you the nekudah of the answer right away. The nekudah of the answer is, you have to try your best and nobody's exempt. You have to try your best to think about the Eibishter, and to learn about the Eibishter, and to develop emunah and the simcha of that emunah. And whatever you do, you do. But you have to try. Nobody can say, I cannot. And nobody needs to do more than is realistic. You're not being asked to be Avraham Avinu, you're asked to be Meshachayim. Therefore, after you are mechuyev to learn Chassidus and to do his bandinus using your deep thought and the bittul of Achdas Hashem, which we discussed in Perek Lamed Gimel, to each one according to his limit. And that's it. You don't feel Amunah and Simcha from Amunah, which makes Bocha Bakuk for Midin Alachas. You don't feel the whole Yiddishkeit is easy because you have Amunah. Says the Rebbe, Zois Yoshev Alibe. Then you have to tell yourself as follows: I did my best, and the Eibishter is happy. Since my mind is small, V'sheidet nishmasi and my neshama is small. May hakil from being a vessel. 4. Liyayis merkavo mishkan liyachudi yizbarach v'emes lamid, to be a chariot and a seat for the unity of Hashem in absolute truth, like the others were, like Moshe Rabbeinu was. Because the leis machshava dili, my thought is not able to be tfiso maseges be'yizbarach, to grasp and to reach intellectually Hashem, klalakal whatsoever. Shum asaga be'el, no intellectual reach whatsoever. Not even a tiny bit of mehasagis avos v'anavim, of what the others understood, and what the others were misbeinin, and the others emunah, and the others simcha v'emunah, and the neviim. And therefore, what am I going to do? First of all, I'm going to do my best. And second of all, I'm going to do my best. And third of all, I'm going to wish to be able to do better. I'm going to make for Hashem a seat and a prepared place to live. In addition to my hisbandinus and a little bit of amunah and a little bit of simcha of amunah I can muster. In addition to that, I'm going to make Hashem a home through ha'esik b'talmud Torah, by learning Torah. And notice that it doesn't say kineged kulam. K'fi apnai shali, according to how much time I have. B'kfiyas itim, by fixing a time. And I'm sure you know the Chassidish Avart, that a kfiyas itim Torah is not only a kfiyas b'zman, it's a kfiyas b'nefesh. But by day and by night, kidos hanitno, like the halacha which is given, the halacha v'echad b'chas Talmud Torah. Each one according to Talmud Torah. Talmud Torah is one of those halachas where there's a sheer how much Torah you have to learn. But it's not the sheer, the sheer is not the same for everybody. Everybody has the same sheer for matzahs. Everyone has the same sheer for moli lugma, but not everyone has the same sheer for Talmud Torah. One person is perek echad shachas, perek echad arvis. Another person is v'agisa b'yayim v'alayla. Ukmai mezal, the Gemara is afil perek echad shachas, v'chuli, one perek in the morning is efficient. And I'll combine my effort of his bandinus and emunah and simcha with my Torah. Yismach libe v'yagam, rejoice and be happy. V'yit and edol chalke, thank Hashem for the peace that you were given. You can't be the others, but you could be a yid. Rejoice in the yid you could be. B'sumcha b'tul livav, enjoy a gladness of heart. Al shezacha lihiyes, that he has merited to be ush b'zichon l'gvura, host for the Eibishter in his limited way. Twice every day, according to how much time Hashem has given him, according to the measure and generosity of his own hand, which the Eibishter has given him broadly. So what's the Rebbe saying? First of all, nobody can say I can't learn Chassidus. Everybody must. Nobody can say I can't do his bonus. How much you do, as much as you can. Then you have to learn Torah. And then comes number 3, and this is the shir of tomorrow.